you for coming. My name is Silvia Tolissano. And just to give you a little point of reference, who the heck is this woman there, right? I was born in Germany. Me crié acá en Buenos Aires, Argentina, con papá argentino. So my stomach girl is still here in Buenos Aires. And lived a year in Brazil. And now I'm back in the United States. And I'm pretty much, I got to fulfill my dream of what I'm doing. I get to travel the world to talk to teachers and to students. So I'm like happy as can be. And what I want to talk to you today about is social media. You guys, do you want to kind of sit down, get comfy? So social media is any kind of, we're talking Facebook, we're talking Twitter, we're talking Instagram, we're talking Snapchat, we're talking Vine, we're talking a lot of different things. And I'm not going, just because I might be talking a lot more about Twitter, it's because that's where my network is, okay? So to give you an idea that this, again, this crazy woman here knows actually what she's talking about, I've been on Twitter since 2007, which is almost from the beginning of when Twitter started. And back then, we were told, don't use your real name. And obviously I was out of school already, and they didn't say if you want to apply for college, it might be held against you. But it said if you want to get a job, that might be held against you. So at that point, I had to think of a way of calling myself, having an online identity. And I came up with the identity of languages, because I speak more than one language. And in Germany, witches they're kind of like the Mickey Mouse of the United States. Lots of cartoons and funny, smart witches are part of children's literature. I decided I was going to be languages. And with that identity, I started creating a network, and I started growing that network for my job, for what I do, what I'm passionate about. So as you can see, 7 years. I don't tweet about that I have a bad hair day, or that my dog didn't make it outside to do his business. Over 7 years, I tweeted 14,900 something tweets. That does not make me somebody who tweets about, I threw up today, okay? I follow 6,795 people so far, which usually when I tell teachers, they're like, how do you do that? Do you sleep? I say, I sleep plenty. For your generation, that might not seem a lot because you probably have that many people on Facebook yourself. So, but the followers over here, I've got over 21,000 people that follow me. And those followers, I did not buy them, guys. I earned every single one of them by sharing and by contributing to their learning and to their network. Yeah. And that takes time. So, I do know a little bit how this whole thing works, how you make followers, how do you write a tweet, how do you grow a network. I've been doing this for a while. So that's Twitter.
And also, like, how do you have meaningful interaction around issues and not just photos? And you could always go in with the cheap shots and post a cute picture, but how do you have really meaningful followers and really meaningful engagement? That's not easy. And I don't even know, do you guys even have that? Do you guys even do that?
Let's see, who's got Facebook in here? Raise your hand if you have Facebook. Which, almost everybody. Who has a Twitter account? Who's got 100 followers on Twitter? 200. Okay. So it's growing, and if you watch TV, if you watch movies, if you look around at products that you use, that you buy, Twitter is one of the most powerful platforms for social media. And we are here at a conference for you to take action. social media is a way of anyone to have an impact and to get their word out. It's also a platform where the middleman is gone. You guys know what the middleman is when I say that? Let's see. Stand up for a second. Stand up. You stand up too. Right behind. Right behind. So let's say you are a really famous author. I read your book. Okay? I read your books, and I love what you write. I have some ideas about what you write. I want to support you. I actually want to send you money because you're so great. That's how amazing you are. Guess what? When my generation, your parents' generation, when we had this, when we read a book, that author was somebody amazing. I mean, couldn't talk to him because that guy was the middleman right in between me and that person. And that's probably either the agent or a publishing company. If I wanted to talk to this person, I had to send a letter to that guy. And guess what that guy did? Made a decision to throw it away, made a decision to put it on a big pile of maybe 500 other people who tried to reach that guy. It might have never gotten there. But guess what? Sit down. Goodbye. He's gone. Because that guy now is on Twitter. That guy is on some social media platform. And I can find him. And when I find him, I can talk to him. I can let him know how I feel about what he wrote. I can let him know that I like it, I don't like it, that I have suggestions, that I want to contribute money so he can live the next year on a tropical island because he's going to write another amazing book. Woo! Yes? So that's the point of social. That middleman is gone, and that's huge. Thank you. So how do you build a network? How do you represent yourself that you are growing? And when I put that in quotation, important people, people that could help you in your career, in your learning, in your action of the project that you want to push forward. How are you going to do that? Any ideas? What do you think? How are you going to do it? Let's say you have a project. All of you have a project, right? You want to change the world, right? That's what we're here. Oh, did I go to the wrong conference?
Come on, guys.
Yeah. Okay, that's why you're here.
Get what you came for.
That's right. What do? How do you, in your mind, you already have experience with social media. You make the connections, building your network. What kind of connections? A little louder. You are connecting to what we heard this morning, right? Wasn't that one of the things that Marina said? Make a team.
And it's not easy. She said it's one of the hardest parts.
Right.
But finding those like minds will set you free.
But there's a big difference, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I understood this wrong. When Marina was talking about make a team, in your mind, what kind of team were you thinking of? Friends, peers, how many? 5, 20. That's exactly what I was thinking of. But when we're talking social media, team, find like-minded people, I'm talking thousands, hundreds of thousands. And that's a big difference from creating a network and a team that you know, that you see, that you can touch, that you can have a meeting with, and you can be in the same room, to a network of thousands and thousands of people. And that makes the difference. Have you guys heard of the word crowdsourcing? Fundraising, have you heard of that word? Yeah. Okay, fundraising, old style, when I was your age. Fundraising, you made posters, we used to, do you guys still do that? You sell cakes and cookies, so you fundraise, so you guys, we could go to Santa Cruz, Tucumán, we went for Viaje de Egresados, we had to do that too. So how many people were going to eat our cake in the middle of the dulce leche? That's, I think, still the same thing,
Everyone in our school.
I'm sorry?
Everyone that's
Everybody. Yeah, that's it. So the old style fundraising was about the people that you knew. Maybe your mom, your dad gave you a little money too. Crowdsourcing is when you use social media and you request that others contribute to your cause. Not one, not two, not three, thousands. So if everybody contributes a little bit, you got a lot more than if you just sold the cake in your school. So now translate that. Think about that for your projects. You're trying for people to change, right? To take action, to help you push what you feel we need to change for your future. How are you going to use social media to do that? If you can talk to one person that's somewhere in your vicinity, think and talk about how would you use the social media that you already have, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, to get people to change their mind and to take action for what you want them to do for your project. Go ahead, talk.
It's really good for that. Like,
I might buy it. All my friends.
because you feel like
You gotta like it like that.
you're spamming on Facebook.
I like this stuff experience.
Like everyone's like,
Yeah. Oh my god. It's like that. It's like to likes on my face.
Twitter's cool because you have an idea out there. And if later on you feel like a jerk about it or whatever, yeah, like rethought.
I mean, keep sharing it. Keep sharing it. It's like just press that down button. Or like, yeah, post it and the point is to get every person's wall. It's like, hey, I check out my crush. Yeah. And put it on Instagram. Yeah. Take like trust snaps and keep Snapchatting. 100 seconds. And then you want to put it on Twitter. You want to hashtag it. Everything. That's like projects. That's like no filter. I don't know.
Oh, quello sta in seconda.
I see it.
Okay. Who came up with something that in their group that you said that surprised another person in your group? Something that was like, wow, I never thought about that. Or
be consistent, like, or then give an example of, like, YouTubers, like, if they don't post, like, every week,
They lose.
building up on them.
Okay, so regularly to have really an action plan of how to post, when to post, what to post. Okay, anything else? Something that surprised you, something that you would not have thought about yourself. Oh, that was a sad exchange. You already knew it all? Okay, you think so?
We talked over here about something
Okay.
about Facebook, just about how, I mean, it is cool to know that when you post something, someone's gonna at least give you like one thumbs up or one like. It's good to have like a team of people who are gonna get your back, right? We all know that. You'll have like 5 buddies on your social media who are gonna like you no matter what. And that helps.
So just to get that feedback,
We were saying that you need a combination of both your team, that's like real people that you know, and real people, so that they can promote you, and since the idea is not implemented in society, that way
it spreads.
it's like this spread.
So you to have a small group at least of people that have your back, that can help you and can support you, and you're not alone in this. Let me show you something what we've created today. If you go to Twitter and if you search for a hashtag, which you guys all know, hashtag, right? Do you guys see that video? The hashtag this and hashtag that video?
No.
If you haven't, search for it, it's pretty funny. So, hashtag, we used Buenos Aires, BA, Gin 2014. And anyone that was here and was on Twitter, for example, okay, could use and could share what they're seeing. So I just, as you started talking, I took a picture, and that was just now.
Really?
So,
Yeah, it's horrible. It reminds you of bullying.
okay, and Mono is a different platform. Guys, take a look. Take a look. Writing a tweet. Anybody know how many characters I can use in a tweet?
140.
Nice. Do you guys know the Twitter grammar? How to write a sentence in Twitter? There's a certain way when you write a 5-paragraph essay, right? You write differently than if you were to write a Facebook status update, correct?
Yeah.
You also write a tweet differently. A tweet, number one, has to be the 140 characters or less. But a tweet, who sees it when I post it? Only the people that follow me. But if I want to reach a much wider, if only 20 people follow me, what do I need to put in my sentence in order for a lot more people to see it? Hashtag. And in this case, it was BAGIN 2014. Now, anybody who follows that hashtag or searches for that hashtag will see the tweet that I sent from Asa. Okay? That way, it connects anything that say, what's your name? Sybil? Isabel. If Isabel writes, but I don't follow her, but I search for the hashtag, I'm going to know that she's here as well talking about this conference. And boom, I can connect. I can check her off and say, I'm going to follow you back. And that gets us back to building a network. Because guess what? She's probably somebody who's interested in global issues as well because she happened to be at this conference. Maybe I can get her to support me, or maybe I can check out who she follows, because if she likes global issues, she's probably going to follow people who also like global issues. And then, bingo, I can harvest all the people that she follows. Does that make sense? So, by using hashtags, I can grow my network specifically for something that I want to follow, that I want to have in my network. Okay? So, if first rule, when you write a tweet, make sure you include a hashtag. If you don't, it will only go to the people that follow you. You want to reach a global audience. You want to reach more people. What are some other hashtags you think we could use? Global issues. Should we go check global issues? Nobody writes that?
Miss, why don't you just go to the trending ones that's right there?
Well, it's Halloween. I'm assuming that the trending one is more about. Now look, global issues. Okay, that was actually not a hashtag. That was the user. And it's a high school class. They're studying contemporary affairs. And we're the authors of a podcast, the Global Issues Initiative. Woo! Bingo! Guess what? Not only do they study this, they also have a podcast about global issues. Guess what? Mention them. Write to them. Say, hey, you're having a podcast? You want to interview us? We have a global project. We're a school in Curitiba. I don't know. Why don't you interview us? And bingo, you suddenly have an audience. You were interviewed by a radio station, an online radio station. So just by searching those things, that's how you find the audience. Because guys, from what I've seen, the first 2 sessions of your trailers, of your projects, there's some pretty good stuff in there. But guess what? In my time, that's all it would have been. This conference, and that's it. You guys have the chance to literally connect to the world. It's your choice if you don't do it. I didn't have that choice. I had that middleman. can you imagine if I would have called a radio station up back then and said, hey, do you want to interview me? That wouldn't have happened. But this does happen because you have the direct connection to them. So what I'm wondering, you guys fly here from all over Central and South America. You fly, you prepare, you bring these projects, you create videos, you create presentations, you are talking to each other, you're talking to other adults, educators, teachers, and then what? You go back to your schools and you continue with your project? What about the next step? What about reaching out? What about literally, what if there's somebody, a kid in Australia who's really into making a difference in his or her part of the world? And you already created the project. You already showed them how you got everybody engaged and how you got your community going to donate blood. Why not share that? Why not share that? And not just with the people in this room, but why not share this with the world? If you don't do this, you can't say, I couldn't. Because you can't. It doesn't cost anything either. All it takes is that social media platform. Thoughts, ideas. I just threw something at you. I told you it was your fault if you didn't grow this into a global organization. What do you think about this?
Do any of you guys have any success stories from doing it and having a new connection or having a job or having anything offered to you? Because you could.
I have a question. Just because you follow someone, that doesn't mean that they're going to follow you and actually look for your story like you. Well, I think because no one told them that. So
Very good question. What happens if you follow somebody, but they don't follow you back? There are a few tricks.
no, but
No.
friends and stuff, like people like that.
If you are, for example, on Twitter, right? And you follow somebody, and you read everything that they write, and you think they're really interesting person, but they don't ever read anything that you write because they don't follow you. So you can be just as interesting, but they have no idea. There are a few, thank you, that's something you don't do. Don't spam them because you get blocked. You don't want that. You want to make sure that you stay obviously professional if that's what you're there for, to make a connection and to grow your network for your project.
I get followed.
Guess what? If you spam and you get followed, they're not the right kind of people that follow you.
But wait,
They're
what really verified?
What
They're
is
what
spam
verified?
for you?
Twitter.
Like if it's like a famous person.
Like,
Oh,
yeah. Just hearing about a phone.
Yeah.
well, if you're trying to go that route, okay, I guess there's nothing wrong. My guess is they're not even looking at this themselves. They have somebody they're paying for to deal with all those spammers. That's my guess. I've never done that.
But you could ask a question and that's not spamming.
No.
I have not attacked, I have approached people who are way out of my league professionally. And they write back all the time. And then all of a sudden they're setting up a Google Hangout and they want to talk to me. Because, people, you guys are going to figure this out soon if you haven't figured it out already. But the future is all about who you know, what they know, and how you work with them to develop a new thing, right? Sort of, get that? People want to know you. You have a mind that is worth knowing. I wish this conference lasted a whole month so that I could talk to every single one of you to find out what your passions and dreams are. That's part of the point too, is that you have a mind. It's about cultivating your thoughts, putting them out there and approaching somebody else's thought and letting them know that perhaps the two of you together could, again, create something new. And just so happens, sometimes those people will want to pay you, sometimes they'll want to give you awesome jobs, and sometimes they're going to make you feel great about yourself. So, why not?
You already have have a step ahead than most kids. Because you, all of you, are at international schools, right? Which means your friends have come and gone, right? You have come and gone. Maybe you're the one who moves all the time. Which means you have ex-classmates and ex-friends and ex-teachers that already know you. That doesn't happen to the kids who live their entire lives in the same town. They're still in the same class with the kids they were in kindergarten with. So you already have a step up. Put them in your network. If you, for example, if you created that trailer for your project, or maybe there's your presentation is being filmed and it's accessible, share it, put it on Facebook, take a picture, put it on Instagram, put the link to the video, say, check this out, look what I'm part of. Anybody have an idea? Anybody wants to connect? You specifically might have a friend who moved to Brussels and is at the International School of Brussels. Maybe they're in, I don't know, they're maybe in the Brandenburg Berlin school right now. Who knows? Contact them, connect with them, share what you do. That's the point. And that's, I think, the biggest. You've been taught since you were really little. What happens when you're in school and you write something and then you share it during a test with your neighbor? What's that considered?
Cheating.
It's changing. It's not cheating. I mean, that's a different situation. Okay? Sorry. I'm already thinking about the next thing. That probably in that moment is not considered appropriate. But if you created a video, if you are working on a project, you are tweeting right now what I'm saying.
I'm not tweeting. I'm showing you how stagnant it is.
That's not considered cheating. That's considered sharing. And what Lisa just was talking about is that future is not going to work without that sharing part. That future is not going to function. Any of this tweeting will not work or Facebooking or if you don't share. Who has a Facebook account and never put in no updates, no pictures, no anything on there? Okay, if you have that, you know that your network doesn't really work that well on Facebook, that you might miss out on the party invitations on Facebook because you're not sharing anything on there. Okay? Questions?
I want to ask you guys, do you feel like do you feel insecure online? Like, do you not want to share stuff because it's like, who would care? Do any of you guys feel that way? No.
No.
Extra security. Just a waste of time.
Do you feel more confident?
I think a lot of people.
I feel more confident, but I didn't always. At the beginning, I felt like a loser. Like, who would care about my ideas?
But nobody cares about anyone else.
Me neither.
Like all these girls put a picture, like I actually don't care, but like I think it's turning on. Like, nobody really cares. And like obviously, like the whole like is part of
Guys, I can barely hear her. Can everybody kind of?
no, but like small things, you know, like
Unmeaningful
look at my dog.
Superficial stuff.
Like obviously people close to you care, but like if you have a lot of followers, not most of them won't like take the time to actually think about it. It's like something that your brain is processing really quickly. And I feel like it's not like social media is where usually people put like they're good about them because they want it's like their online brand. So I feel like it's not there's no really I mean I can understand why it's insecure, but it's like it's usually a place where people are more confident because they can only like the better.
Different platforms for different people,
Yeah.
right? Like, for me, I'm comfortable here because I'm a person who needs to have like deep conversations. If we're going out, it will be like just us three. We're gonna have dinner, like just as girls, and we're gonna just chat all night. And I'm a person who needs those types of friendships. When I was in high school, though, I threw huge parties, and it was different, and I had a different type of social environment. So Facebook was better then. Now, as I've grown up, something that's more meaningful is better. But different types of platforms can make us feel insecure about ourselves. So maybe it's also about finding a right fit on the internet for your style at this time in your life. Does anyone relate to that?
conference. But I want you to kind of step away from the Facebook or Snapchat mentality. Okay, quick, easy. I just want to show my selfie. I just want to show where I am, who I'm with, and look at my muscles, and look at my bathroom, the toilet paper behind me, kind of thing. Okay? Let's step away from that. You know what I'm talking about. You've seen all of this.
It was definitely a selfie.
Which I put in there on purpose.
It was cute.
It was very cute. Step away from that, and let's look. You're here for a purpose. There are problems that our world is facing, and as you heard in the keynote, which actually touched me, you know, I mean, obviously she wasn't talking to me, but it's your world you're inheriting. Do something about it because you can't trust us. I mean, that's what I heard, right? Did you hear that too? Yeah. So, for that purpose, how are you going to harness, to grab that power of that social media that we didn't have, but you have it? What are you going to do? How are you going to create a network? How are you going to share with the world? And how are you going to get others to help your cause? How are you going to spread the word? What did one of what was the second keynote? No. Yoka? Yoka? What did she say? It's inform, engage, act, and there was another one. Inspire. Thank you. It was inspire. So taking those 4 things, how would you use social media? Now look, thinking of your project. Who did the toilet project? Anybody in here? The toilet one? No. Anybody in here for the paws? The doggies? The dogs? Okay, tell me what project is in here. I'm picking all the ones. What's your project?
It's not today, but it's
Oh.
refugee project.
A refugee project. Okay. How would you use social media? Think, the middleman is gone. You know people around the world. How would you inform, inspire, engage, and make them act? Through social media. It doesn't have to be Twitter. It can be anything you want.
I think it would be easier to talk to the federal police, which is where we go through, which we did eventually get material there. So
Okay.
it would be way easier. It would be more accessible, even though most refugees, which just became refugees, they don't have access online. But those who do make it, which are very few, could. And then we could contact other people who are helping refugees easier.
So you're talking more about the inform part. Okay, how can you make them act? Ask them to do something to help your cause. Anybody else, guys? Anybody else? We're talking, it's a refugee project. We haven't heard about it yet, but it's a refugee project. And he said something really good. Most of the refugees, when they arrive, they probably don't have internet access right away, or they don't have the skills to find them. How could you use social media for what? To inspire, engage, inform, and act.
Wait, you mean like soldiers coming back? Refugees?
Refugees that they left the country because they were persecuted, they were afraid for their lives. Oh, Snowden, that's right, he's a refugee too at this point.
And so like people could like make those like sign-ups, so like so their hometown to take him in as a refugee, and
The country to take, who wants to take Snowden? Anybody? Raise your hand.
I don't think anyone really wants to.
wants it.
Couldn't you contact an embassy and you could ask them about their policies with refugees?
Something like, it would be good, I could post maybe a video interviewing a refugee for him to talk about his experience, what he needs help.
So you could go, which is another thing, part of the action would be to create empathy in non-refugee people, to make them realize, you know what, maybe it's time for you to step up and help out, you know, a refugee. If you see somebody and they don't speak your language and they're saying, you know, they can't even, the money that they have, they don't know what it means and how much something costs. Great, that's a great one. And then, so you would interview them, you would have a video, you would post it on YouTube, and then what? Just because they built it on YouTube doesn't mean people come. How do you make something?
Put tags.
Tag, the hashtags, what else?
No, but on YouTube it's not hashtags, it's tags.
Tags. Sorry. You're right. You're absolutely right. How do you disseminate it? How do you make lots of people find it?
If you create a
How?
brand name,
A brand, okay. Which would be your project name. So make sure you have the YouTube account under that name. Make sure you have the Facebook page under that name. Make sure that you have the Twitter handle under that name, and so on, so people will recognize it. Absolutely. Another project. Give me another project. Let's brainstorm together, guys.
What's your project?
Oh, I said that to like talk to other schools or other places in the world and like other gym, because gym is like it's an organization that it's not only South America, it's also like Asia and things like that. And I used to study in Asia,
So you have your network already there. Nice. So, guys, she's touched on an important part. We are sitting in this room. We're trying to brainstorm together. Some of you are half asleep, yawning, and which I completely understand. So, but we are brainstorming with a finite amount of people. If you were to go on your networks, on your social networks, if you're on Instagram,